Peace. This is the God Powerful Intelligence. We broadcasting live from Mirage Media, and this is our weekly broadcast of the analysis. This week we're going to be talking about chemical and biological warfare brought straight to you by the United States government, but we're going to particularly focus on the local government. And basically, this is really important because so many things have happened because of this involvement, the government's involvement, the local government's involvement. So many communities, so many good people, so many families have been destroyed by the role that the government plays. And it's basically the United States government's war against the public. The CIA's control the drug trade, they control the heroin trade, the traffic in the United States. They facilitate this through the local law enforcement agencies. The local law enforcement make sure that the drugs are distributed, contained, and concentrated in specific areas by use of the local criminal element, gangs, etc. In LA, California, the CIA and the Los Angeles Police Department facilitated Ricky Ross, the Freeway Rick Ross back in the days. In the Bronx, they used Larry Davis, 17-year-old black man to sell drugs and control the drugs in the South Bronx. Now, yesterday, we had a guest with us, and basically I went off and basically was talking about from Central America how the drugs got here. But we're just going to focus on right now, we're just going to focus on just the corrupt cops, the cops selling drugs. And something that really struck me, I want to get to this piece. Something that really disturbed me, really got to me. I want to get to this first before we even carry on. I want to get right to it. And it's basically, this is the ultimate. This is one of the illest pieces of work that I've seen. Okay, this is brought to you by a news publication out of Los Angeles, right? Cops make crack in California. Orange County, California, reverse sting operations cover. So basically, and this is in 1995, people. This is 14 years ago. This is the cops buying drugs, taking drugs from brothers on the street, taking it to the lab, synthesizing it. So check this out. When Orange County went bankrupt, it made national news. But what you haven't heard may disturb you more. For nearly 2 years, the Orange County Sheriff's Department has been quietly manufacturing crack at the behest of the Santa Ana Police Department. The Sheriff's Department hands the publicly produced rocks over to the police, who use them in undercover stings. Now, the police buy the coke from these guys, they go to the lab, they cook the crack up, and then they give it to the narcotics unit. These guys go out and they selling dimes and 20s, 5 keys at a time. Okay, I'm not going to pretty much get into that story. This is stuff that you can look up. You can go behind me and do this research. Right? Now, the cops are making 400 arrests a month. But these guys, they're selling the crack, making the money, and then they lock you up for buying the crack. So, it's a serious allegation, man. And I've been waiting a long time. I didn't want to do it until I really had my research down packed. We got an outstanding research team. And I'm definitely trying to tell you this. Police are selling drugs in your community. They are the #1 dope dealers. I recently had a run-in with them with myself. And when you're dealing with the law, you have this thing called a controlled substance. And it's a controlled substance because they control it. Okay? They use these drugs as a reason to steal property. So they're thieves, they're drug dealers. The police, the Minneapolis Police Department, these guys are scumbags. These guys are drug dealers. They are the problem in North Minneapolis. That precinct right here on Plymouth, they solely exist to keep the drugs concentrated in this area. They're not going to let the drugs spill over into Robbinsdale or spill over into Golden Valley. Nah, they keep it concentrated. You know, these guys are hardcore. And if you're not doing drugs in your community, they'll put some there. They got rats implanted in your neighborhood. So, you know, I wanted to keep it away from the propaganda and just focus on the news. So basically, this piece right here, The Cops Making Crack in California, 1995, published by Bobby Steen. Right? It goes on to say, the court found that law enforcement's manufacturing crack cocaine for use in reverse stings is totally legal. The district attorney said, yeah, she allows them to sell 5 keys at a time to weed out the large drug dealers. But she was totally unaware She was totally unaware that they were breaking it down. So let's break that down. $100 a gram, 1,000 grams, that's 100,000 a brick. So these guys are making $500,000 every time. Now they're getting this cocaine from off the streets. Now sometimes when they get off the streets, they don't have to report that. So they're getting it off the streets, and then they're getting it from other police officers, other labs. This is hardcore gangster shit, people. There's no way I can nicely discuss this. This is hardcore shit. And then you'll give a brother 10 years in prison for possession, but you'll let a child rapist, a guy who has sex with babies, you'll give him treatment. We know why. We know why. White males are the predominantly, they're the predominant individuals who do those type of sexual crimes. So anything that white man is prone to do, we give him a slap on the wrist. You know, so all of this is, you know, I don't want to seem like I'm jumping around, but this is all, it's not one situation here. You got the Rockefeller drug laws coming out of New York where you'll give a brother life in prison for a first offense non-violent crime. But in Minnesota, you're a third-degree sexual offender. We're giving you treatment. So once again, we're still dealing with this piece out of California here, right? The court finds that law enforcement's manufacture of crack cocaine for use in reverse sting operations shocked the conscience and violated the due process clause of the state constitution. It is incredible that law enforcement's manufacture of an inherently dangerous controlled substance like crack cocaine can never be safe for the public. The court ruled as it's reversed hundreds of drug convictions, but the Florida ruling didn't. So now we got Florida doing this too. Minneapolis is doing this too. These dudes are the drug dealers, man. Now the feds come involved when the cops ain't doing what they supposed to do. Right now, the drug task force here been stealing money, ain't even reporting it.